I don't believe that it's right for people to work for 40 hours and take home pay that's below the poverty line. The President made it very clear that as a country we have to make sure that if you work full time, you're at least at the poverty line.
Do you think you can get that done this year? Do you think that you can push? I know the President has done it with
He's
executive order
on
a small sliver of the federal workers.
We're going to keep pushing at it. You know, it's obviously not in our power to force Congress to act, but we can make the case for it, and we can have the American people make the case for it, and we're going to continue pressing because it's the right thing to do.
The CBO report this week really gave the people who are against it what they feel is ammunition. You know, that it would be a job loss. It would be a poverty alleviation program on the backs of small businesses who'd have to pay for it.
You know, I think if you look at that CBO report, it also showed that it would take almost 1 million people out of poverty. There are a lot of different views on the economics of the minimum wage. You know, I know that the studies done by a number of people, including Nobel laureates, show that it has the opposite effects. I tend to think that they're right, but we have time for that debate.
Someone who has had your job, Larry Summers, he's been writing that we are becoming a Downton Abbey economy. Do you agree with him?
I don't think we have to be. I mean, I think it's more of a prediction than it is an assessment. And I think if you do the right things, we can create opportunity. You know, one thing about American people generally is if they're doing well, they don't begrudge other people doing well. They want a chance to have a middle-class job. And we can solve that problem.
And just as you head to the G20, you're more confident than I've heard you in a year on this job about the atmosphere in Washington for getting stuff done.
Well, the last 4 months have been very different from the prior 2 years. I think, you know, I don't want to overstate the situation, you know, where it's going to be challenging to do hard things. We'll see when everyone gets back after this break and we do some more. You know, obviously, it's an election year, so you know, it's not going to be as possible in the fall and the summer as it would be in another year.
Can you get immigration reform done when we're heading into a midterm?
I think immigration reform is something where there is a bipartisan majority that wants to take action. I think that it is something where the direction of policy, you know, there's clearly an interest. I know that there are a lot of statements coming out of Washington that there are disputes even within the Republican Party. But, you know, I think it has certain attributes that make me feel that there's going to be action at some point in the not that distant future. I don't know if it's the next few months or the next year or two.